Steve Deace here with the dirtiest little secret of the 2016 campaign. There are multiple reasons why the GOP establishment in the end rallied to Donald Trump to create the Trumpstablishment, one of which we talked about here on a video a couple of weeks ago. The number one thing the Republican Party doesn't want to do is lose control. These are people that would rather lose elections than lose control, so they did Donald Trump's delegate whipping for him at the convention in Cleveland recently to avoid conservatives throwing them out and assuming control of the party. The other reason the Trumpstablishment was formed is because the GOP establishment doesn't really believe that Donald Trump will win. So they've really got nothing to lose by backing him, and they avoid a revolt from a sizable portion of their base. But there's a third reason, and this is the dirtiest little secret of the 2016 presidential campaign. See, for all of the cowbell that Donald Trump brings to the table, he's really running a conventional GOP establishment candidacy. I mean, look at the primary. The old white guy with the highest name ID and the most moderate to liberal ideology, who the media gave the most coverage to, won the nomination. Does that sound familiar? It should, because that's what's happened the last few times as well. Nothing has really changed, except Trump has a personality far different than Mitt McCain's. But if you look at the race he is running, we've heard for 3 decades from the GOP establishment that, we'd win a lot more elections if we just got rid of those culture war issues. If we just talked about jobs and national security, and we never brought up life or marriage or religious freedom or the Constitution, what makes most of us conservatives in the first place. Well, look at Trump's candidacy, folks. That is the exact message he is articulating. He's the first Republican nominee post Roe v. Wade to never mention life in his nomination acceptance speech. And he spent more time wooing Bernie Sanders supporters than he did mentioning the Constitution or God. That is on purpose. Because see, when you strip it all away, all of the bravado and the rest of it, Donald Trump is really just a New York City liberal. He fashioned his primary message off of New York City liberal stereotypes of conservatives with birtherism, conspiracism, trade wars, globalism, a bunch of stuff he doesn't believe, but he knows that you do, and he wanted to use you to his advantage. And now what he's doing is saying, hey, we're going to finally run that campaign that all of the know-it-alls here inside the Beltway, like New York and Washington, D.C., where I hang out with the elites, that we've known all along, that if the GOP just jettisoned the conservatives, you all would vote for us anyway, and we would win because we'd bring in all of these disaffected Democrats who think their parties turned too far left. See, Trump is going to give the GOP establishment the national election they've always wanted, a true chance to win without conservatives. We'll see on November 8th if they get their wish.